just had to come and join it with me because it was an interesting match overall. We've just seen the Netherlands defeat Senegal. I was going to say destroy, but I had to really stop myself. Defeat Senegal. So I think that's all they've really done in this match. Great game. I'm actually really looking forward to having a look at the Global Cup leaderboard after this match because we did at the very end get some tasty, decisive actions. We've got some goalkeepers in the mud. We've got some goalkeepers going to the heavens. There's actually been a wee bit of Global Cup developments off the back of this game, so very much looking forward to getting into the aftermath of that with anyone that does join us live, whether it be on YouTube, Twitch, or anywhere else that might be. So yeah, let me know if you had any players in the game. I had my very first player in the Global Cup go out for the game, and that was Virgil van Dijk, of course. But the only people that will be watching this back after we've been live is anyone on YouTube. And if you are watching this after we've been live, then fist bump and thank you very much. Normally, I do run the little intro sequence, but I thought I'll just run straight from the cuff, and just on the off chance any's were kind of hanging about in the lobby or whatever. But we've got a few of these on YouTube. Sam D and Dylan Rutter, good to see you both, of course. And yeah, I quite enjoyed the match. I did expect there to be more goals in Holland and Senegal. And in the first 20-30 minutes, it did really shape up. Senegal could have scored a goal or two in the first half quite feasibly, and they never really took their chances. And then the lack of Sadio Mane really showed up in the match, I felt, as the game went on. I thought Ismaila Sarr was quality. I think he really showed how good he is. It was basically a one-man attack, it felt like, at different times. But the Dutch, from the very beginning of this game all the way through it, were very clearly the better team on the ball. Much, much better. And once they started making subs, they became they got such a better shape about them. Klaassen getting his goal was quite well deserved because the balance he gave into the pitch. Berghuis was doing quite well in that, but Berghuis was linked to kind of float around in the forward areas, into spaces and whatever. And I was saying to the guys in the Telegram group, I felt that De Jong was in midfield by himself. He had 5 attacking winger forward players all kind of running, interchanging. Then he's got Dumfries and Blind, and then he's got the 3 centre backs. That was the way it kind of felt to me at the beginning. So I think the subs actually improved the Dutch, and that's also how they've managed to win the game in the end. And Louis Van Gaal should probably take some plaudits for that, I suppose. But yeah, we're going to go and we'll jump into Sorare data, and we'll have a little peek, and we'll have a look at the scores that we got from this game, because like I mentioned, some of the scores that we got in this match do have significant implications to the leaderboards potentially, because as we can see here, Frankie de Jong on 88.6. Anyone from the bench? Klaassen got a 65 for that decisive. Depay with a 29, so glad I never played him ultimately. Gakpo will take the headlines with his goal, and he overall did play pretty well. He took a lot of the direct free kicks in the absence of Memphis Depay, and he did get a good all-round score. But I don't know if maybe, not the shot on target, of course, because of his goal, but these attempted assists, maybe 1 or 2 of them will leave his score in the next match and go to Memphis Depay, you would suspect. And this was meant to be the hardest game of the group for the Dutch. So to win 2-0 with a clean sheet, and the SO5 headline of this team can only be Noppert, the probably least picked goalkeeper ultimately across the Global Cup draft. Not only did they deliver a clean sheet on his debut in the hardest game of the group for the Dutch, but he also picked up 22 AA points. It's not as if he was standing there like a statue being Sean Nushuman goals or something like that. He actually had to work for his points. All of those points came basically from goalkeeping actions. 4 saves, 2 inside the box, a good high claim. 3 of those saves were diving saves as well, which score a bit better. And fair play to the guy at the age of 28, it would seem. Starting his first game in the World Cup against one of the teams that you would expect to get out this group or have a good say at it. So fantastic for him. Fantastic for De Jong as well, because he's became a bit of a meme, I think, over the last couple of months with the whole Barca, Europa League and Man United and all that caper, So yeah, great to see him impact the World Cup in a big way. I think Virgil, my first card just came in, right? So Van Dijk has played a 50-pointer for me. Now, as far as defenders go, that's not going to cut it this game week. I cannot expect myself in game week 1 to get really high up and amongst it because... Oh, is this for next game week? Sorry. Because I think there's going to be some other defenders come out the woodwork this game week that will break 60s, 70s, like, and it's not even a flinch. That's a decent score to get, but I don't know if it's going to cut the mustard for match day one. Hopefully this will kind of even itself out for the overalls and whatever, if I can get some huge peaks out of Lautaro and Griezmann, because there's some other stuff that's going on with their individual squads. But we'll have a look at the leaderboard now, and let me know, guys, for yourselves. Let me know, for all you that are joining me, if you had any cards running, if you've had cards running, all the rest of it. Actually, before we get to the impact on the leaderboard, what I wanted to look at is now we've got a group that's completed a match day. So Holland sit top, Ecuador joint. They've both won 2-0. And they move into the next game. They play each other next, and then it will be Qatar and Netherlands, I believe, is the final game of the match day. So this group is still going to remain quite open, because Senegal, you would expect on today's performance against Holland that, you know, anything Ecuador could do in the offense and the attack against Qatar, that Senegal should be more than capable of matching that. So you would expect that going into match day 3, Senegal and Ecuador, they will be playing each other, and that game should be pretty spicy. You know, so if you've got any of those cards, I would expect them to be involved in a lot of potential high scoring affairs, let's say, for the SO5. England, of course, ran rampant earlier today, 6-2 victors over Iran, and we've seen the scores from them earlier on were very notable across the board. Actually, it looks like Bellingham's been opted down to 94. Maybe Saka's been opted up ever so slightly. And overall, yeah, I don't think there was much change anywhere else. But yeah, very influential scores. But I think quite clearly that Noppert is the #1 goalkeeper choice. Now, actually, before I do get to the leaderboards, because I think this will have a huge negative impact, I personally thought Edouard Mendy would have been a great shout for a cheap goalkeeper at this World Cup. And he got a negative decisive for the Gakpo goal, right? I think he should be due a negative decisive for the Klaassen goal, to be honest with you. And I think they're led to go for the Gakpo one. It is a bit harsh. He comes for the punch. He doesn't quite get there. He's beaten in the air, essentially. And because he's came off the line, I suppose I can see the logic behind it. I think it's just wildly harsh. He did have some points for some passing and stuff like that. But, and yeah, if he did make saves for one of those opportunities, maybe he does a wee bit better on AA. But again, he would have been half of the performance at best of what Noppert did here in the 2-0 victors for the Dutch. So sometimes the wisdom can be that you want a goalkeeper that's going to face shots and whatever. And as much as, yeah, Holland did face some shots, Senegal did attack, Holland felt very comfortable in possession. So it feels like we had a bit of an oxymoron, a wee bit of a paradigm there of these two things that don't normally happen together, happening together. You know, the defender scores don't necessarily show how dominant Holland were, and I think, you know, I was listening to Nigel de Jong at halftime, and he would reckon that De Ligt would get subbed at halftime for Timber. I think SO5 fans would love that to happen, and I could see it, man. There was a great case for it, and on the show now today, like, yeah, this was the hardest game of the group, right? But De Ligt does not look the part, or he didn't look the part anyway in spells of this. Isco, Chileo, good to see you all. Thanks for joining us. For me, Ecuador is the hardest game in the group. Very good team. So Isco expects Holland to have a tougher time against Ecuador than Senegal. Very interesting. Isco, we'll revisit that. I'm sure we will. Can't wait for tomorrow with Messi and De Paul playing for Isco. I feel the same way. I've got Martinez and I've got both the Martinezes, Emi and Lautaro. I didn't even notice that until now. But yeah, let's have a look at the top of the leaderboard. So if we have a look at the top of the Global Cup leaderboard at the moment, it's still the same name, isn't it? Yeah, it's still the guy with Bukayo Saka and Harry Kane still running up the top. Is anyone... Well, I think we're seeing a lot of similar names from earlier. I don't see any of the Dutch names influencing this. So there's a good combination there of England and Qatar. Not England, England and Ecuador, that has dominated the top end of the leaderboard thus far. We're still scrolling through the top 20. I want to see, yeah, here's some Dutch. So we had, unfortunately, De Ligt has let this guy down. He's still got Becker to run. He's on 318, yeah. So there is going to be a lot of people hunting down 400s. Like, if you've got to be in the mix for 400, guys. That's the marker. I think that we're setting to get into the juicy spots. If you can get into 400. De Ligt letting this team down, but 89 for De Jong alongside 95. Captain Bellingham, wow. Great shout. Along with Harry Kane up front for this guy. Wagner too. Great looking team, my man. El Jumpy here. Had Van Dijk, had Bellingham, Kane, and Gakpo. What a team that is. And is waiting for Neuer to run again on 319 points. So, yeah, clean sheets for Germany. And Brazil are much needed at the top of the leaderboard. Is that a duplicate team, or have I clicked on the same guy twice? And this guy had Noppert and Estupiñán. Oh, imagine this guy had the right back for Ecuador. That would have been amazing. Kimmich still to run. Kane and De Jong. This is a lovely team as well. But again, this gives me hope because I've got Van Dijk on 50 points. And this guy's 14th. So if maybe I don't get a goalkeeper on 82, right? But if I can get an 80 plus average out of my other three guys with a goalkeeper still to run, I'm in the same situation as this guy, sort of, if Kimmich is a goalkeeper, which he's not, right? So this guy maybe beats me, but you know what I mean. I can get in amongst it. This guy gives me hope. JRS 1805. Oh, that's the team we just looked at. Angel. So he's got Diego Costa to run now. That is sketchy. And then, Gakpo, Kane, Bellingham, and Van Dijk. So yeah, Van Dijk's are up here. Robs. I like checking out the top 20. I think that's a good cross section. This guy's got Courtois to go. He had Blind, which was a better pick than Van Dijk. Captain De Jong, Sterling, and Kane, decent picks. And then El Batutador. This guy had Galindez, Van Dijk, Bellingham, Valencia, and he's got Ferran Torres to go. He's on 310. Ferran Torres could get a hat-trick. I'm just saying that. He could. Hopefully going to pick up a rare Kyle Rowles and Devlin soon, says SMB. Fist bump, thanks for joining us. Sounds like a good pickup to me. Noppert the GOAT, says Dylan Reuter also. Refresh, it's not the same guy. Oh, is it not? Did I maybe miss it? I'll have an wee scones in a second, but we're seeing some interesting developments at the top of this leaderboard. Top one is, oh yeah, okay, cool. So I've refreshed it. We'll go back to the top one if it's changed. We'll check that out. Thanks for the catch on that one, guys. I think we probably caught 14 to 20 was probably accurate, so I had to change the name for that. Oh yeah, so this guy's top now with Noppert in goals, Bellingham, Gakpo captain, and Valencia. And he's got João Cancelo to run. He's on 358 points. Wow. Whew. This guy, he's going to... So Cancelo, we hope, for this guy's sake, he's going to hope and expect Cancelo to break 70. You expect that he gets a decisive. He's got 88 points in him. So yeah, you're expecting 80, really. That would get him to about the 440 mark. That would be huge. Hulk in second. Oh, Mendy in the mud. Oh, Trippier, solid defender pick. And then we're seeing the Valencia Kane double up again with Frenkie de Jong mid. That was a bit of a tandem, eh? And then in third place is Yuri Turusovic. And he's went with De Jong, Captain Kane, Valencia, Galindez, and he's got Frimpong. Oh, man. This guy's third right now. He's third on 330 points with a DNP Frimpong. I feel so bad for this guy. If you're a viewer of the channel, I feel so bad for you. I'm so sorry. RCS Alex. He was top. He's now fourth. This is a new name. He's getting the same goalkeeper as me, same defender as me. And he's got De Jong, Kane, and Bellingham. So again, if I can replicate or beat these scores with Griezmann, Lautaro Martinez, and Kevin De Bruyne, then I can dream of getting top 10, I think. Can't I? Same goalkeeper and defender. So I need a captain to bust a 90. Yeah, man, I've got hope. I'm feeling it. This is definitely a new name. Unai Simon in goals. And basically the same team we just seen. Interesting. This will be a new one. Jan Sommer. Same team again. So we're seeing some duplicates here separated by goalkeeper selection already. Noppert, Van Dijk, Bellingham, and Kane. What a four with Mbappe to run. This guy's sitting 8th. Mbappe is one of the favourites to get 100 in match day 1. If he does, this guy gets to 420 and has to be looking at the podium. Arcos Angels. Maki Karpat. So he had Noppert, Van Dijk, Oh, interesting. He went with Sterling for 75 points, and he's got Lautaro still to run. So I'm hoping again. So I've got his guy as well. And then AB, Danny Ward in goals. Is he even playing? Oh, man, I feel bad for this guy. Oh, Saka, Kane, De Jong, Danny Ward. Is he even playing? Is it not Hennessy? Let's go and check out. Let's go and have a wee preview of the Wales game. So Wales, the teams are out. I've seen the America team. Carter Vickers isn't starting, which bums me out. Celtic POV. From an SO5, I was hoping Sean Johnson squeaked in there. Yeah, Hennessy starts, man. Oh, this guy is 10th. DNP goalkeeper, Danny Ward. Ouch. That is a sore one. That will change a lot tomorrow with Argentina. I think it will, by the way. I think a lot of it will change. We'll go back to page 2, and yeah, I think we recognise all these names. Yeah, so we've seen an accurate back end. We did that in quite a nice way, actually, didn't we? In the end. So the leaderboard is really shaking up, and I feel that some of these raw scores that we're chasing down, like, it's going to be mad, because there's not many competitions where everyone's got the same picks, everyone's got the same cards, the same opportunity, and this is what makes the Global Cup so special for me. What makes the World Cup special is something quite similar. Oh, Noah, good to see you on TikTok, my man. You've got 80 points for one player. That is good. Very good, my man. Who is your one player, Noah? Please let me know. Great score, Noah. Loving it, my man. Oh, Harry Kane. Nice. Great pick, my man. That is fantastic. Love to hear that. So yeah, so we're going into the last game of the day, and I'll let you know now. I'm not going to be streaming all the live reactions tomorrow. Me and John are for streaming tomorrow. Just need to check the big man hasn't double booked me or whatever, you know. Big time Charlie. But me and John are for streaming tomorrow, so we'll probably be around like kind of dinner time, I think is the word. But I'll be back at the end of the Wales-America match tonight as well. So I'll be back to review this. And I've watched a fair amount of America. I've watched America and Scotland more than any other national team by a long way over the last 3-4 years. And I've not really, even Hendo will tell you, I've not watched a lot of Scotland, you know. The midfield in America is very predictable. The front three does have surprises. I'm surprised Sargent starts. I think a lot of people are surprised Weah starts, but Weah did win the league in France, and Berhalter pure loves Weah. If he's fit, he plays him quite normally. So I thought Weah might have played in the middle, but maybe rain it out wide and just went for a bit of pace, because you expect the Welsh back three to be a bit stronger. Maybe try and get into the half spaces in between them. Dest, I think, is going to run this game. Serginho Dest is quality. He's an amazing right back. Who's he up against? Nico Williams. Well, I suppose that'll be a very interesting duel. I know he's highly rated. But I think America are going to do very well in this game. Their goalkeeper's a good shot stopper, and they're back to their actual defence. Zimmerman and Ream are capable like defenders, but Wales, that front three, Harry Wilson, Dan James, and Gareth Bale, will be putting fear into them. They should be playing CCV. They should be. And Anthony Robinson, I've not seen enough of to really rate at left back. I think he's probably their best shout. But Matt Turner could get a great score today. He could make lots of saves, lots of shots. And I actually think the three-man midfield here for America could all score very well in total. So going into this game, we'll check the players tab. We liked that last time. So we'll have a look now. So we've got actually some very interesting situations now at goalkeeper with Noppert. So we've got... No, it's just my players. We don't want to see that. So we've got Noppert, probably top goalkeeper than now. Not in a global sense. It's a guy called Ratty. But Galindez is just behind him. Look at Zidane. He's had a good game this game week. Edouard Mendy in the mud. And Jordan Pickford down there as well. So if you picked any of those two guys along with Sad Al from the Ecuador game, then you are in the mud. Defender cards, let's see who is really running up the top going into this game before Wales and America start. Preciado, Maguire, as we know, the big guys with decisors already, as well as some decent AA backing them up. Kieran Trippier, Luke Shaw, and Hincapié, and behind them has been the next most influential, and then just bunch of nobodies basically thereafter. In midfield, it's all been about Bellingham and De Jong thus far. I wonder if there's anyone I'm forgetting. But yeah, Bellingham, De Jong. Even Grealish, Saka as well, very much forgotten as a mid-card. I would, definitely have thought about that. Again, thinking about him as a mid, classing up there with a 65, if he was picked on a budget by some people, could be coming into play in this leaderboard as well. And up front, Enner Valencia, Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, Cody Gakpo have been the main guys we've seen on the leaderboard. Even though Taremi has scored better than Sterling and Gakpo, who have been picked much, much more. Callum Wilson even coming in there, same with Rashford. Ismail Assar doing okay with no decisive. But yeah, they're the most influential players that we've got at the moment. And yeah, guys, I'm very much looking forward to America versus Wales. I think it's going to be, Noah's made a good point here on TikTok that I think Aronson not starting in terms of Sargent. I think that's a big talking point as well. Emi Martinez and Jimenez from Uruguay, KDB, Messi and Kane is your team. Lightning number one. I think that's what you're meant to say for your name. Fist bump. That sounds like a quality team, and I look forward to hearing about that as it goes. Yeah, no Pepe. He never get brought up. Depay screwed over SNB. Gutted, man. But yeah, I think America could score 3 goals in this game. That's my kind of feeling. And I also think that Wales have got real magic in that front three, and I really don't know how many they could score. So I hope this is going to be an amazing match. I hope you all join me for the post-match of Wales versus America right here where you found me for this. I'll see you as soon as the full-time whistle goes. Have fun, enjoy the game, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.